Charleston celebrates its 350th anniversary this year, and to commemorate that, Charleston Pirate Tours brings you Charleston History Highlights. Hi, Eric with Charleston Pirate Tours. I'm in downtown Charleston. I'm back over here in Philadelphia Alley. I mentioned earlier that I believe that this is one of the most haunted streets in the city. In fact, on a previous video, I even talked about a very strange thing that happened with a story I told and how it ended up one night on somebody's answering machine when they got home the next day. If you haven't watched that video, go back and check it out. But that's not the only weird thing that's ever happened to me in this alley. Several years ago, I was given a tour in the alley. I was further up that way towards Cumberland Street, had a large group with me. Now, one of the things I'm very mindful of whenever I'm walking a tour and I'm here in the alley, this is a public thoroughfare. People walk back and forth through this alley constantly. And as they're walking back and forth, I certainly don't want a group of people blocking their path. And I especially don't want the people to split up and have them walk through the middle of the tour. I'd rather have them walk behind us. Well, on this particular night, I had a large group. And while I was in the middle of my stories and talking a little bit about some of the strange things in the alley, my head's always on a swivel, folks. And I looked and I noticed somebody coming from the Queen Street side of the alley in this direction. Now, as they're getting closer, I noticed that he was walking with a very prominent limp. And he stopped right in this general area and was observing us a little further up the alley. Now, it was very dark in the alley that night because many of these lights weren't working properly. So I never could even make out any features of this individual other than the fact that he was just limping. So this shadow figure is standing here and watching my group. Well, when I saw him stop, I figured he was just going to wait for us to finish and leave. But I wasn't near being finished. So I looked at my group in front of me and I said, folks, there's a guy standing right up the alley there that would probably love to get on past us. So if y'all would be kind enough just to step over this way so that this gentleman can... Where'd he go? Well, at that point, all the people that I had with me on the tour, well, their attention was, of course, drawn to this man. And I said, did y'all see where he went? They said, sure. He stepped up on that little step down the alley and went through the door on the side of that building. And I pointed and I said, you're talking about that step you see jutting out right there? And they said, yeah. I said, really? I said, yeah. Didn't seem to think nothing about it. I said, well, folks, come on down here. If that's the case, I want to show you the door he went through. So we started walking down the alley, and I came here. I said, this is the stoop right here that he stepped on. They said, yep. I said, well, folks, was this the door that he probably went through? And of course, they couldn't help but notice that this door was bricked up as long as I could. Well, while I was showing them the bricked up door, I looked back and, well, most of them now have proceeded to run from the alley. I had to chase them down. Finally caught up to them when we almost got to Cumberland Street. And needless to say, it brought a whole new level of excitement to the tour that night. So next time you come through this alley, take a look at this door for yourself. Oh, and one other thing. One night I was actually standing right here, and I was talking to a group I had in front of me. And after the tour, I noticed a lady standing there smiling at me the whole time while I was standing here talking. Well, after the tour, I'm thanking everybody for coming and getting ready to leave, and she went, oh, I want to tell you something. And I noticed this lady was awfully excited, and I said, what can you tell me, ma'am? She said, well, my daughter has the ability to see things. I said, well, I do too sometimes. And she said, no. She actually can see dead people. She's actually seen relatives of ours that she had never met. And she's described them down to the glasses they were wearing back years ago. And she said she would see them. She sees them standing in our house. I said, really? I've heard of people that had that ability. I said, ma'am, what is it you wanted to tell me? And her daughter looked at me and she said, I thought you might like to know that while you were standing here talking to us, I saw somebody come out of that bricked up door and stand right here and just watch you and smile while you were talking to us. Yeah, that got my attention too. Happy birthday, Charleston.